What will happen when people in Hyannis see something strange? A herd of 6 big dogs calmly following a young man with no leashes, no barking, and no commands. The sight was so unusual, it made everyone stop and stare. Some were amazed, others grew suspicious. Was it real? Or was something hidden going on? But when they started digging for answers, they found something no one ever expected. Something that left the whole town in shock. The story begins with a man named Ethan walking down the streets of Hyannis, Massachusetts. Beside him were 6 large German shepherds. But what really made people stop and stare was this. None of the dogs had leashes. Not even one. They walked calmly, stayed in line, and didn't make a sound. It was like they were trained soldiers, moving as one. Most people found it hard to believe. How can someone control 6 strong dogs with no leashes and no shouting? That's not something you see every day. Even dog trainers struggle with just 2 or 3. Ethan looked young, maybe in his early 20s. He didn't speak much. He didn't even look around. But those dogs followed him like he was their captain. They didn't bark, pull away, or get distracted. It felt like they were tied to him by invisible ropes, listening only to his voice and watching his every move. At first, people were amazed, then curious. Some even became a little suspicious. Was it real? Was he using some hidden trick? No one really knew. But every time Ethan walked by, people stopped, stared, and wondered how he made the impossible look so easy. But Ethan didn't talk much. When people asked how he trained 6 big dogs so well, he just smiled and said, "Patience and love." That answer didn't work for everyone. Some thought he was hiding something. He was always quiet, close to his dogs, but didn't speak much to people. That made a few neighbors suspicious. One woman in the neighborhood, known for rescuing animals, started to believe Ethan was doing something wrong. She thought he might be using shock collars or some secret method to control them. She even started a petition asking for an investigation. Soon, people were watching Ethan more closely. Some tried to look through his windows, others even went through his trash, hoping to find proof. But they didn't know the truth. What they saw on the outside was only a small part of Ethan's story. The real reason the dogs followed him was something much deeper. Ethan wasn't from Hyannis. He came from Brazil, where he grew up on a small farm filled with animals. From the time he was a little boy, Ethan felt a strong bond with dogs, especially German shepherds. While many people saw them as scary or just guard dogs, Ethan saw something else. To him, they were loyal, smart, and full of heart. He didn't learn from books or dog trainers. He learned by being with them every day, watching, listening, and slowly building trust. He never forced them to obey. They followed him because they trusted him. When Ethan moved to the US, he missed that bond. So he adopted 6 German shepherds: Logan, Hope, Emma, Isabella, Mia, and Sierra. They weren't just pets, they were his family. With love and time, the dogs learned to follow his lead without needing leashes. But not everyone believed it. Some still thought something strange was going on. And soon, the police got involved. The neighbor who doubted Ethan wasn't ready to let it go. She kept saying something strange was going on inside his home. She believed no one could train 6 big dogs like that without using fear or hidden tools. So she convinced the authorities to check things out. When the police walked into Ethan's apartment, they expected something bad. But what they found left them shocked. There were no cages, no chains, no shock collars. Just a peaceful home where dogs relaxed like they truly belonged. Some were lying on the couch. Others were curled up on the bed. They had the full run of the place. It was clear they weren't just pets. They were part of Ethan's life, like family. But the neighbor still didn't believe it. She pushed for more action. She wanted the dogs taken to a shelter for a full checkup. She was sure Ethan was hiding something. So the police promised to do everything by the book. They brought in animal behavior experts. These people watched Ethan for days, how he walked, how he fed the dogs, how they acted in different situations. The experts didn't rush. They watched everything closely. When the final report came in, it said one simple thing. Ethan had done nothing wrong. No abuse, no fear, just love, trust, and time. Dogs were happy, healthy, and living an ideal life. Ethan treated them like royalty. He didn't train them with fear, he connected with them. That's why they followed him, not because they were forced, but because they trusted him. The investigation changed everything. The police gave Ethan an apology letter for the trouble, and the neighbor who once doubted him felt ashamed. She realized she had judged a kind, quiet man without knowing the full story. The rumors stopped almost overnight. Instead, people began to respect Ethan. The quiet man who used to make neighbors whisper with suspicion was now famous for something different, his amazing way with dogs. Soon, Ethan used his gift to help others. He opened Logan Shepherd Kennels, named after his loyal dog, Logan. There, Ethan taught dog owners how to build real trust with their pets. He didn't promise quick fixes or tricks. Instead, he showed them how to be patient, consistent, and truly connect with their dogs. People brought their wild puppies to him and left with calm, well-behaved dogs. Even though Ethan worked with all kinds of dogs, his heart belonged to German Shepherds. He always said, "You don't train dogs with fear. You lead them with love. You become part of their pack." He explained that the real work with dogs isn't about giving orders. It's about the small things, feeding them, walking with them, playing with them, and letting them rest close by. That's how trust grows. Dogs follow you because they want to, not because they have to. Over time, Ethan became a local legend. People came from nearby towns just to see him walk his dogs. He didn't care about attention, but his quiet walks with 6 or even more German Shepherds made him famous online back in 2013. A short video showed him walking down a busy street with all his dogs, no leashes anywhere. The video spread quickly. Everyone wondered, who was this calm man with such a special connection to his dogs? Even with the fame, Ethan stayed the same. He kept walking calmly, wearing simple clothes, and answering questions with a soft smile. He loved his dogs, and that was all that mattered. If you visit Hyannis today, you might still see him walking his pack, no leashes in sight. The dogs move around him like shadows, perfectly in sync, like they share one mind. Would you be brave enough to walk near 6 unleashed German Shepherds? Most people would stop or step back. But when Ethan leads them, people don't run away. They stop and watch. Because once you learn his story, you see it's not about fear. It's about love, respect, and the strong bond between one man and the dogs who trust him completely.